Imagine waking up one day and realizing that life is like the most complex game ever designed. But there's a catch. You don't have the instruction manual. You're stumbling through, trying to figure out the rules as you go, making mistakes, facing challenges, and sometimes wondering if there's a point to it all. Well, here's the thing. There is an instruction manual. And in Buddhism, it's called Dhamma, the natural law that governs everything. And once you understand this manual, everything starts to make sense. Dhamma isn't just some abstract concept floating in the ether. It's the underlying code that keeps the universe ticking. Think of it as the rules of the game. Rules that aren't made by anyone, but are just part of how things work. The more you understand these rules, the better you can navigate through life's challenges and ultimately break free from the cycle of suffering and rebirth. That's the ultimate endgame, Nibbana. So, what is Dhamma really? It's often translated as truth or law, but it's deeper than that. It's the essence of reality itself. Imagine if you could see the matrix code behind everything. That's what understanding Dhamma is like. It's the truth about how things are, not how we want them be or how we think they should be. And getting in sync with this truth, that's the key to unlocking a life free from suffering. Now, let's dive deeper. If life is a game, Dhamma is your ultimate guide to playing it right. This isn't about winning or losing. It's about understanding the game's purpose. And here's the twist. The goal isn't just to beat the game, it's to transcend it. When the Buddha attained enlightenment, he didn't just figure out some cool life hacks. He uncovered the ultimate truth, the natural law that governs everything. He saw that all existence is subject to impermanence, suffering, and non-self. These aren't just lofty philosophical ideas. They're the very fabric of reality. The modern scientific theories describe the universe in terms of 4 fundamental forces of nature. Remarkably, these 4 fundamental forces of physical nature bear a striking resemblance to the 4 elements of matter in Buddhism. Water, in Buddhist terms, represents cohesion and flow, pulling things together. Gravity functions similarly in nature, pulling everything together. Whether it's planets in orbit or the Earth's gravity pulling objects downward towards Earth. While we clearly observe gravity's effects due to Earth's large mass, scientific experiments like Cavendish's demonstrate that this cohesive, pulling nature is inherent in all matter. Next, Earth represents solidity and structure, the qualities that give matter its hardness and strength. Earth resembles the strong nuclear force, which holds the very core of atoms together, giving matter its solidity. This force binds multiple protons with positive charges to form a nucleus. Without it, nothing would have any structure, as the like-charged protons would repel each other. The fire element embodies heat and light energy. Fire provides our body with heat, powers our metabolism, and aids in digestion. The fire element resembles the electromagnetic force, which governs electricity, magnetism, light, and all forms of chemical phenomena, including the chemistry of life. The electromagnetic force drives energy flow, keeping things vibrant and alive. The wind element, typically represented by breathing and circulation within the body, symbolizes the broader mechanics of matter associated with movement, change, and repulsion. The wind element not only embodies change at the atomic level, similar to the radioactive decay governed by the weak nuclear force, but also encompasses the winds of change and movement of other fundamental forces of nature. Now, the real deal isn't whether the 4 elements match up perfectly with the 4 fundamental forces of nature. What really matters is understanding that everything around us, including our own bodies, is just energy in constant motion. And here's the kicker. This energy is stuck in endless cycles, constantly changing, from birth to aging to death and then rebirth. This never-ending change is what makes physical existence a source of suffering. When we get attached to anything physical, whether it's our bodies, our stuff, or our status, it's like signing up for a lifetime of disappointment because nothing stays the same. That's why it's so important to see through the illusion of materialism and break free from the constant chase for more money, more stuff, more everything. It's all just a distraction from what really matters, finding a way out of this cycle of suffering. Think about it. We spend our lives chasing after wealth and material things because we think that's what will make us happy. We follow the crowd, just going through the motions. It's like we're part of a herd of animals or a flock of birds without ever stopping to ask ourselves what the point of it all is. Even the Buddha was caught up in this before his enlightenment. He was a prince, living a life filled with extreme luxury, surrounded by every worldly pleasure you can imagine. But one day, he ventured beyond the palace walls and saw something that shook him to his core. People who were sick, old, and dead. It hit him hard. Everyone is heading towards the same fate, no matter how rich or powerful. This realization sparked a deep compassion in him, and he knew he had to find a way to help all beings escape this endless cycle of suffering. So, he left the palace, leaving behind the life of a prince, to seek a path that would liberate everyone from this cycle of misery. Imagine spending 6 years trying out all kinds of intense meditation and extreme practices. That's what the Buddha did, exploring every method people thought could end suffering. After all that, he found his own way and then spent 45 years sharing it with the world. Think of life like a candle flame. It keeps burning as long as it has fuel. For us, that fuel is our cravings and ignorance. The flame stands for the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. But when the flame goes out, poof, there's no more fuel, no more rebirth, and no more suffering. It's no coming back once it's gone. The question is, are you ready to see what lies beyond the flame? In this episode, we broke down how everything in the physical world follows natural laws that give it 3 major characteristics. It is in constant change based on these natural laws. It's not something we can fully control, and hence we cannot really claim ownership over it. It is non-self, and these involuntary and inevitable changes cause suffering. But here's the catch. Understanding Dhamma means going beyond physics and what matter-based science can measure. The mind isn't something you can see or touch, so using physical tools won't work. In our next episode, we're going deep into how the mind really works. If you don't want to miss future episodes, hit that subscribe button. We've been studying and practicing Dhamma for almost 30 years, and our goal is to make it super easy for you to understand. If this helped you out, we would appreciate it if you can give it a like and share it with others so they can learn too. Also, we love hearing from you, so don't be shy. Drop your questions in the comments below. We're excited to dive into topics that matter to you, so the more questions you ask, the better our content gets. Your curiosity might just inspire our next future video ideas. And hey, we can't wait to see you in the next episode. Until then, stay mindful.
Face the shadows we've chased the light, through countless days and endless nights, seeing truth beneath the veil, where all desires start to pale. The path we walked was never straight, but led us to this final gate. With the wisdom born from mindful eyes, we see the self's mere disguise. Now the last step's burning bright, no more clinging, no more fight. In letting go we find the way, the dawn of freedom, the end of sway. Together we'll embrace what's true, no longer grasping what we knew. Are you ready to see beyond the flame? Nibbana calls, it's just a name. Nibbana calls, it's just a name. Nibbana calls, it's just a name.